What's going on, everyone? Today I am going to install these backup lights, which I bought all of them for like 30 bucks on my truck. And the way I'm going to have them wired is that when the truck is in reverse, they turn on. So first I'm going to assemble them with their wiring. So let's go ahead and start putting the wires together with a harness that I made, sort of, and get them on the truck. LED kind of special whatever lights are like 30 bucks on my 2008 Ford F450. And first things first, you just got to make up a harness. So the idea is that when I turn on the reverse light, the lights turn on along with the camera. Now I already pre-made a harness for it, so here's the power that's going into or coming out of whatever source, which for me would be the reverse light. And then I have it taped underneath this tape. They're actually wired together and spliced in. And then I got my two ends. Both ends, one go to each light. And on my particular lights, the white is your power and your black is your ground. So let's go ahead and solder these wires to a harness so I can go ahead and install it in the truck. First thing you need to do is strip the wire down. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a pair of wire strippers, find the gauge, pull it off, pull the copper. Do that for both lights. Both lights are done. Now let's go ahead and get them wired on. One thing I like to do before I do anything is just twist the wires together so you get a nice, straight, clean shot. Can do that for both of them. And now I gotta strip the harness wire. I'm going to do the same thing, twist the copper, and prep the two surfaces now to get ready to be soldered. Okay, now the wires are ready to be prepped. I'm going to get my soldering gun out here. I'm going to get the wires nice and hot. Both sides soldered up. This wire, or the hot side on this light, is done. I'm going to do the rest of the harness and get back to you guys. Alright, so I got the whole wiring system all set up. I have everything all soldered together. I have all the joints taped. And now I just got to test it. So the way I'm going to test it is with my little 9-volt battery. So let's go ahead and test them. So the last thing I got to do is just test it. And I already know that I wired these backwards because when I looked at the battery, you got your positive and your negative. The bigger one's the negative. Well, for whatever reason, in my mind, I read that the big one's positive. So I wired the wires that way, which I'm not going to really explain how I thought on that. But, so if I take the red, which is my ground, and my black, which is my hot, and put them together, they work. But if I flip them, they won't work. So now I just have to remember when I install in the truck that the black is the hot and the red is the ground. So let's go ahead on the truck and find a source where we get some. I know I want these lights to go on when I put the truck into reverse. I'm actually just going to go pull power from the reverse light. So let's go ahead and get this headlight or tail light housing off and expose the wires. To do this, my truck requires an 8mm socket, 2 screws, and you just pull it out. Just like that, the headlight's out. So this is the reverse light on my truck. And as you can tell, I actually already have tape on this. What I already have connected is a backup camera that's actually connected to my Garmin inside the truck, and that's what I use for the backup. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this tape and expose the wires so I could go ahead and tie in the new reverse lights. Now remember, I said my black was my hot and my red is my ground. So I actually have to wire this a little backwards. Which again, not a big deal. Coloring of the wiring doesn't really mean anything unless you do it right. That means you actually did it right, but I did it wrong. So you know what? No big deal. So let's go ahead and loosely tie these in. And and make sure they don't touch, because if they touch, that's just not good. It won't blow up, but it's not good. So I'm going to put this one like that. They're not touching, they're in close proximity. Let's see if I'm going to go ahead and install the light bulb on this just to see if it will turn on. So when the light's on, that these lights should turn on as well. So let's go ahead and see if this works. So there we go. We got the reverse light on, the light bulb's actually working, and these are on. And my camera's actually on. So let's go ahead and button all this up. First I'm going to do is I'm going to install these lights, and I already know I'm going to have to install more black wire onto this, but let's go ahead and get these lights mounted up. Alright, so I already know where I'm going to install these lights. On the hitch of the truck, there's 2 bolts, one right here and one on the other side. And what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to take those bolts and just run them through. So what I'm going to do is just actually there's a little pass through on the side. I'm just going to run the wires up there. I'll meet you guys back up at the light. Alright, let's go ahead and hook up the lights. So remember, since I did it backwards, hot or black is my hot, red is my ground, green is hot, black is ground. So I'm going to tie, that wire just fell through. I'm going to tie this black into this green. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to wrap around it like so. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tape it. Alright, so the last thing to do now is just really just button up the wiring, close everything up, and adjust the lights. So I'm going to do that, and next time you see me, this will all be done. So that's it, folks. That's how you install backup lights to work off your reverse lights. Be sure to stay tuned and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.